Welcome back to the channel, y'all. Like, comment, subscribe. I hope y'all having a great day. Why coaching in Europe is so different than the NBA. We're about to deep dive into it with this video. Shout out to bASKETNEWS as always. Make sure y'all are subscribed to bASKETNEWS. Make sure y'all like the video up, the original video, and make sure we get some likes on this video. All right, let's reach for like 250 likes. That should be very light considering that we're going crazy right now, but 250 likes. Let's get to it. All right, we're about to jump straight into the video. If y'all want to shout out, make sure y'all follow me on my social medias. If y'all want to join my EuroLeague group chat, make sure y'all DM me group chat after y'all follow me. All right, let's get straight into this shit, man. I don't know what they about to say. First thoughts before even pressing play on this video. Some differences straight off rip. I feel like just the play calling is a little bit different. I feel like there's a political difference too. In the political aspect, I feel like there is a very big difference. We're going to see what they talk about, and then we're going to kind of piggyback off of what they say.
The scripted plays for these teams in FIBA, it's like 5 different actions to get to one last thing that's what you're actually looking for. That to me was the craziest thing to watch.
So NBA is a players league, while in Europe it's all about the coaches. At least that's the general belief. People think coaching in the NBA is more about positively inspiring your players, while in Europe there is way more tactics and of course way more crazy shouting.
What the fuck is this, man? We end the march. Go do.
Off of hearing that straight off rip, I mean, it comes down to like, it comes down to like the attitude of the player, honestly, or like how much power the player has too. Like that's why I say political aspect.
But is it really that simple? Let's look at the main differences between the coaching in the NBA and Europe. Spoiler alert, there are many, as basketball played here and there are 2 completely different things. We are going to start with the coach and player relationship question. In my eyes, NBA coaches could be even called CEOs to a certain degree. They have to care more about managing personalities, keeping everyone happy and motivated, while they have assistant coaches responsible for guiding offense and defense. In Europe, on the other hand, coaches are way more expressive, often shouting and bashing their players in the middle of timeouts. Best example, the greatest ever European coach, Željko Obradović.
Now you ask me what to play, huh? So all the life, you wait for me. Okay, all the life, any all of you.
But why we see such a difference, positive in the NBA and negative in Europe? First of all, NBA is one of a few leagues where, from players' perspective, your boss is
to a certain degree. That's facts. To a certain degree, I feel like coaches in the States or NBA coaches, they hold their composure until the timeout a little bit better than European coaches do. That's first. This first topic right here. I feel like players are a little bit more expressive than coaches, whereas the EuroLeague, I feel like, players are still expressive, but coaches are a little bit more expressive. Like, kind of like the NBA players. You
literally below your pay grade.
You feel me?
Coaches looking from above and shouting to players who earn more than them and have massive egos hardly works. Don't you agree? Those same superstars often also have longer contracts than their coaches, and it is a known fact that most coaches are fired before the player is traded. This creates a situation in which players, and especially the stars, hold more power in teams' decisions. Usually those players
You get what I'm saying?
Are international stars with their individual brands known around the world. They are also generational talents on court that have been under the spotlight since young age. Teams don't want to lose them. This has been visible, especially lately, with superstars who tend to express their disagreements with coaches more publicly than before. Think of Giannis.
That's true. That's very true. Very true.
On court with Adrian Griffin, Jonathan Kuminga publicly saying he lost faith Steve Kerr will allow him to reach his full potential, or Shams reporting there is a deepening disconnect between the Lakers core and coach Darvin Ham after a losing streak. Oh, and let's not forget KD and Kyrie drama in Brooklyn.
Why did he hug him so angry right there?
reporting there is a deepening disconnect between the Lakers core and coach
Why he hug him so angry right here?
And let's not forget KD and Kyrie drama in Brooklyn with Steve Nash. Now, talking only nicely to your superstars won't necessarily get you their respect. It is more about building
that's very true.
Relationship.
You gotta know what you're talking about.
Erdem Can, who has NBA assistant coach experience with the Utah Jazz, recently mentioned this is where Europe could take a page from the NBA. He said each assistant in the NBA keeps in touch with players' families, follows their growth and development, thus knowing the points to capture in communication with them.
That's a fire point. Yeah, that's a very fire point. The only reason is because like this is your career. You feel me? So if you're in tune with the family, with the environment, keeping up to date with what's going on, you're kind of building a foundation, and players won't have to worry about like what their family is going through or what's going on with like outside entities other than being on the court. So that's fire.
Just two people who share their life rather than one commanding and giving orders. Even if you have bossy nature later, with this method, players understand and accept it. That's exactly what we have in Europe. Aggressive way of communication, cuss words, and even substitutions after only one bad moment. Hell, some coaches even went further and tried hitting their own.
Whoa. Yeah, see, this is where coach got to get put in the headlock, man. Nah, I'm just playing. Nah, but on the real note, though, yeah, chill. Don't put y'all coaches in a headlock. But on the real note, that's OD. Yeah, you trying to hit a player is wild. And once you cross that line, like some players, they stepping over that line too. Okay, you crossed that line, so we active now. Now, you're fighting. Now you throwing bows, yeah. You thought it was sweet with the player might knock him out. So I wouldn't try with everybody. You got to keep the same energy with everybody. So
bad moments. Hell, some coaches even went further and tried hitting
player. Yeah, that was OD.
Or this legendary clip where current Hawks player Bogdan Bogdanovic gets choked.
On a basketball
court. Wrong, even Europe is going away from this over-the-top coaching, but it is still way more intense than the NBA.
For sure.
There's a bunch of reasons why it's possible here.
For sure.
First of many being, coaches are the ones who usually have longer contracts. That might sound strange if you are an NBA fan, but only a few superstars in Europe have 3 or 4 year deals. I know it might sound crazy, but 1 year deals are completely normal even for starters. There is no draft in the summer too, so teams have no incentive whatsoever to lose or to grow younger players.
Makes a lot of sense. Feel me? So political standpoint, some players right now or some teams, they losing hella games. Like right now, all the teams who are tanking in the NBA, they're on a 42-game losing streak. So in that sense, like the EuroLeague has no reason to lose. You guys have no reason to lose games.
Mentality for everyone. There had to be a reason for why the official EuroLeague slogan is "Every game matters."
Exactly.
The competition does have a few low-budget teams that are at the bottom 3 every year. Asvel and Alba Berlin, but 16 out of 18 clubs are competitive each season.
Yeah, for sure.
Coaches' reputation depends on results only. Thus, we see them coaching their asses off in every game, every possession.
And that's why it's tricky.
Important factor is that the gap between the best players and role players in the EuroLeague is not as huge as in the NBA. This gives more flexibility for the head coach. Even if they bench their best player or he gets injured, there's still a solid chance of winning the game. All of this gives the upper hand for the coach to decide who to play. That's where we see more intensity.
I feel that. I respect that. I respect that standpoint. Okay. I like that. And it makes sense because at the end of the day, when he's saying that, he just said right here,
winning the game. All of this gives the player or he gets injured more flexibility for the head coach. Even if they bench their best player or he gets injured, there's still a solid.
First and foremost, coaches have longer contracts than the players. Sometimes that's not how it is in the NBA. So like how he said, that's a big difference. But even then, like, some coaches, they don't need to coach sometimes. If y'all just losing games, Some coaches just don't care. It is what it is. And then it's harder to pick if they're a good coach or not, because if your plan is to lose games in order to get draft picks, then we get a number 1 pick or get whatever the case is, now it becomes a little bit harder.
Of winning the game. All of this gives
Little,
the upper
becomes a
hand
little bit
for the
tricky for
coach to
your
decide
career.
who to
You know what I
play.
mean?
That's where
You
we see
losing
more
games sometimes,
intensity.
you
If
winning
the coach
games.
is unhappy, he can
We don't know if you're
easily
really a good coach or
express
not.
it, leaving it for the player to deal with it.
The game and the court, no here. There, man.
Some coaches just be yelling
here.
too.
Now,
Like,
I'm not stating shouting.
I know coaches
wins
be
you
knowing what they be
games,
talking
and
about.
NBA coaches
You're
should
just
do
yelling.
more of that. Not at
You're
all.
just
Take,
yelling.
for example, the most.
What did he say? My bad.
There, man.
My bad.
No here.
Now, I'm not stating shouting wins you games and
Yeah.
NBA coaches should do more of that. Not at all. Take, for example, the most passionate guy in Europe, Željko Obradović. You
Yes,
have
sir.
definitely seen at least one of his videos, but it definitely wasn't his emotions or bossy nature that won the titles alone. He's one of the smartest coaches ever in the whole world, as
Yeah.
Greg Popovich has mentioned stealing plays from him or constantly chatting during the summers, discussing strategies. Yes, such a style helped him to get the respect, but it was more about his strategy, decision-making, and the knowledge of X's and O's that made him the GOAT. So you might ask,
Yeah,
which
facts.
relationship style is better, the European one or the American one? What I believe is that shouting could be extremely beneficial in short term, but it's not how you grow young talents or create relationship long term. And since the NBA is a long-term game, that's why we rarely see it there. Some
Yeah.
players feel the lack
Man,
of
hey.
However, it is no surprise that such comment came from a guy who grew up in Europe. Last summer, during an interview for the Turkish media, rocket star Alperen Şengün mentioned that he asked Steven Silas to be yelled at or cussed out after he makes a mistake. Why would he want that, you might ask? He argued that it makes him think about the mistake more, and he doesn't take it personal because he has seen it since his young days. Now,
People want to be held accountable. And that makes sense. Just like how I just said, shouting doesn't win you games. You have to know what you're talking about. But if you're a dog and you meet a dog, it's gonna be dog eat dog. You feel me? Dog eat dog world. So as far as like the competitive nature of basketball, people gonna go back and forth. People gonna yell. It's gonna be some confrontation. If it's not confrontation within team or teammates in practices or wherever the case is, and it's confrontation with the opposing team in games and you're not ready for it, it's gonna be dog eat dog world.
there have been instances of European or old school style coaching tries in the NBA as well, but those, to no surprise, did not go very well at all. For example, PJ Carlesimo. His coaching philosophy has always been that he must be the hardest on his best player because that player sets the tone for the rest of the team.
And it makes sense.
I fully agree that your best player sets the tone for the entire team, but such strict coaching style didn't fly well with Lateral Sprewell, who tried.
Been 20 years since Latrell, and it's Latrell Sprewell. I got y'all, cause y'all want to always correct me and shit. You feel me? I know y'all saying it wrong at the crib. Latrell Sprewell, nigga. My bad. I ain't mean to. Latrell Sprewell. But anyway, it's been 20 years since Latrell Sprewell choked Warriors coach PJ Carlesimo. Where are they now? It's not funny. I wasn't expecting that.
Choking him, or in Seattle, where he was fired after only 13 games, going 1-12 with young KD. Sometimes it's that simple.
He said,
NBA
"What the
players
fuck
have
are you
more
doing?"
power and they're not used to yelling. Even current players who have seen basketball on both sides of the ocean confirm this.
I think it's just a very different approach to how to coach and how to just approach the game, I would say.
However, there are a few coaches that manage to pull it off. Use a certain tone and maintain respect. Prime example, the Spurs and Greg Popovich. But as always, there is a reason of why the Spurs actually made it work. Listen to this fragment of an interview.
The Spurs they don't get knuckleheads, they don't get clowns, they don't get guys with huge egos, they get guys who have to do what they're told to do.
The only reason it worked for Pop was because his best player, Tim Duncan, took the harsh criticism. If your best player does it, you fall. Also, this mentality is not for everyone and it doesn't work for most of the time, but when it does, it can create amazing things. Even European coaches are going away from extreme methods and are trying to find the right balance, so we might see more similarities with the NBA coaches in this category in the near future. Okay.
And even then, coaches don't know everything. They know a lot. They have a lot of knowledge, but they don't know everything, right? So even in that sense, they're always gaining new information. They're always learning. Just like, not to keep piggybacking off of what he's saying, but when he just said the coaches have to have a balance or they have to find a balance. Everybody's different. So when you put new people in rotations, or when you're getting new players from different teams, different countries, stuff like that, whether free agency, trades, and shit like that happen, you have to start understanding the player and how it fits into your structure or how it fits on your roster, on the court with the other 4 people, right? And make it make sense and kind of mesh all the different individuals together into a team. That's just not easy.
Now, what about the actual tactics in the NBA and Europe? Is it really more simple in the NBA? The same FS coach Erdem Can had quite a colorful quote when asked about the differences between the two, comparing the NBA to a Hollywood film and EuroLeague with a modern art movie. Let's look at some of the decisions coaches have to make. NBA coaches rely on preset rotations. The roles are clear and it's super hard for the bench players to get starter minutes. In Europe, coaches have way more.
Starters get paid more. So bench players not getting the same minutes as a starter if you don't get paid for those minutes.
Flexibility. The gap of talent isn't that big and contracts are short. So if you're playing better for 5 games straight than the starter, you will carve your way into the starting lineup. Other teams like Fenerbahce, for example, isn't that big. In Europe, coaches have way more flexibility. The gap of talent isn't that big and contracts are short. So if you're playing better...
Contracts are shorter though, so that's another big thing. That's a very big thing.
For 5 games straight than the starter, you will
That's why it's more
your
opportunity
way into the starting lineup. Other teams like Fenerbahce, for example, have 3 centers who offer diverse skill sets and get 10 to 20 minutes each in every game. Now, I will ask you this. How many times have you seen such a situation in the NBA? European fans often emphasize individual game plans for every EuroLeague match as an argument over the NBA coaches. But is it really possible for the NBA coaches to do so while also getting players to remember the tiny details when you are playing 2 nights in a row? Teams have 82 regular season matchups. They simply choose one main defensive tactic for the regular season.
That's another thing. Back-to-backs, 82-game season. It's way different from 39, I think 40 rounds. It's way different. I know y'all have y'all other domestic league games, like the GBL and the ABA, those different leagues, but 82 games in one season as one league. That's OD. One league, one season, 82 games.
On the personnel they have and they live with it. It doesn't clubs are on par with the number of total games teams play in domestic and international competitions. But the season is longer by 2 months, increasing the amount between the games. Those 2 to 3 extra days to prepare is the key here. When you add the roster flexibility on top, as well as coaches having more power because of short-term players' contracts, and you get the beauty in the European game. The beauty in which you see some teams playing different defensive tactics in each game or varying between hedging, switching, and dropping in the same match. The way NBA is structured, it makes it pretty impossible for the coaches to have this much flexibility. They usually will wait for 5, 10, or even 15 games to make a radical adjustment, just as Adrian Griffin went back to the old drop defense with Brook Lopez after having him higher for the start of the season. Also, NBA head coaches are not going to bench starters who earn 10 million plus for a season. See these the defenses
and that's where
70 don't coach is an
I kind of had to skip that part because there's a lot of NBA clips. Didn't want to get copyrighted, but that is very true. That's very true. In the NBA, they're not gonna sit somebody who makes however much money they make for somebody who makes way less, or for somebody who who makes even less than what that person makes. And then even if practice does happen, they have a good practice, he still makes more. So that's the political side to it as well. It's kind of tough to even like think about that in that sense, but all this is business. So in that sense, sometimes it get like that, all right? But I'm glad we watched this video. Why coaching in Europe is so different than the NBA. We got some good knowledge from it. Obviously we're aware of a lot of this stuff, but we keep watching it and we keep understanding more and more what the differences are. So we're going to revisit this topic very, very soon. I promise. We'll revisit this topic and we'll talk about it some more. And as we come out there to Europe and go to these different places, we'll digest like in person and we'll talk about it in person, like closer to when I get there. We'll talk about this shit. All right. So make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe. Make sure y'all keep running it up for your boy. TikTok been going crazy too, so I appreciate all my TikTok people staying active on there. Make sure y'all comment. Make sure y'all reach out. You feel me? Make sure y'all show y'all interaction. I appreciate y'all. I'll see y'all soon.